Good afternoon to all of our Loudville families. Thank you for joining me today. Before I start, just remember that if you have any questions, put them in the comment box and I'll see them. And this will remain up for eternity, probably. So if you do have questions after today, feel free to ask them anytime. So what an interesting couple of days it's been. As you know, we found out for sure on Friday from the governor that school buildings would remain closed for the remainder of the academic year. That means what we've been doing for the last 7 weeks will continue for the next about 7 weeks. We're entering our 8th week of online and distance learning. We've done a great job with that. All the students and parents really pitching in to make this successful. So I just want to reiterate that the school buildings are closed, but school is still in session. The governor also said that he would make a decision on summer school by the end of May. And I wanted to clarify that because I know there were some questions. He was not talking about extending the regular school year into the summer. He was talking about just normal summer school. So summer school for students who weren't successful during the school year, for other summer programming. He's going to make a decision at the end of May whether or not that will be in person at a school building or if that also will be virtual learning. So a couple of other updates from the state, and this is an important one. The governor on Friday, he had an executive order to change school budget votes. So all New York State school budget votes will now be on June 9th and will be by absentee ballot. The details on how to identify all eligible voters are still being worked out right now. An eligible voter is simply someone who is 18 years old and who has lived in the district for at least 30 days prior to the vote. So we are working regionally on this, and we'll have specific procedures for you in the coming days and weeks. But if you know you aren't a registered voter in Lewis County, and you don't currently get our newsletter, you might want to consider contacting the district to put you on the voter registration list. Some updates for grading. I know you should have gotten a letter from the district if you're a parent of a 6th through 12th grader regarding grading. So we've shifted our procedures as long as we are doing at-home instruction. And we've moved from a 0 to 100 point system to a 0 to 4 point system. As a district, we believe that if we don't take a holistic approach to grading, that we are in fact grading privilege. And what I mean is that not all families have the same access to education. And it's more than access to the internet or to technology. Not all of our families have situations where they can focus on instruction as much as other families. And this is often due to circumstances completely out of their control. So we rely on our teachers truly knowing a student and paying special attention to individual circumstances. When our closure is complete, if individual students need to have their levels 0 through 4 converted for scholarships or for college entrance expectations or for other specific reasons, we will convert the grades from 0 to 4 to a 100-point scale. And I do understand this is a difficult shift for some because we're so accustomed to being able to see a number and pinpoint how successful we are based on a percentage. We will have to rely more heavily on the teacher's specific feedback. And this is a philosophy that has been adopted in the elementary school for years, and even some colleges are starting to work that way. Well, many are on a 4-point scale. So I will always go back to communication. If something is not working for your child and you have done everything you can to be successful, please contact your teacher. More frequent communication with your teacher is always the best policy. So moving on to the exciting LACS parade that we have coming up. For those of you who haven't already heard, the district is going to have a parade of our faculty and staff on Wednesday. So we will leave the village of Loudville from 4 different spots at 3:30 and travel around the district. Our specific routes can be found on our Facebook page in Lincoln, Lewis County. If you live on the route, please come out and say hi to us as we drive by. We'll be sure to honk and wave. Remember, social distance, please. The last thing we want is for people to congregate to watch us go by. Moving along, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. Boy, do they need some appreciation. If you get a chance, make sure you give a shout out to your teacher. Send an email, make a video, do anything you can to show how much you appreciate the work they're doing to stay connected to you and to your children. The teachers at Level are truly the best, and we are so fortunate to have them at our school. And that kind of leads right into the next thing, which is celebrations. We have a lot to celebrate here at Level. Two different things. We've been identified as, all three of our schools have been identified as a recognition school. And we've also gotten some recognition from New York or US News and World Report. So we'll start with the recognition schools. Recently, all three of our schools, elementary, middle, and high school, were identified as recognition schools by the State Education Department. There were a total of 582 schools in 244 districts across New York State identified as recognition schools. So in order to be a recognition school, you have to satisfy several requirements. First, you have to be a school in good standing, which all three of us, our schools are. Second, the school must meet one of several identification criteria. So it could be English language proficiency, being above or being lower than the chronic absenteeism rate and graduation rate. So those are just a couple. And then third, the school can't have any subgroup that's identified as needing support. So that's fantastic that we had all three of our schools fit into that category. I do want to put a little note in there that I believe only 2% of all districts who are identified in the same demographics as we are were recognized as recognition schools. So only 2% in New York State of school districts who are rural and high needs were identified in this manner. So that is truly something to celebrate. So it's an incredible accomplishment, and I take my hat off to the teachers and administration and students and parents who made this happen. So the New York State high school rankings, US News and World Report published its rankings for high schools, and our very own Lowville High School has been ranked 214th out of 1,342 in New York State. That's in the top 16% of the state, which is a fantastic accomplishment. Not only that, we received a national ranking at 2,248 out of 17,792, and that puts us in the top 13% in the nation. So congratulations to all of you. A little note on seniors. Senior pickup. On Friday, May 15th, between 12 and 2, there will be a senior gift bag pickup. Many of you know about this already if you are a senior or family of seniors. We have had a lot of parents of seniors and other school volunteers get together to create a gift bag for our seniors to let them know how important they are to us and to show our admiration to them and pride in them for being so strong during this time of isolation. So it should be quite an event. Obviously, it'll be a drive-through, all protective gear in place, and we will make sure our students get those bags. Food delivery updates, including the backpack program. So Monday, May 25th is Memorial Day. It is a vacation day, and no one's going to be working. So we're also not delivering food on that day for either the backpack program or the normal food delivery. So that week, we plan on doing food deliveries on Tuesday, May 26th, and Thursday, May 28th. After that, we will go back and do the food deliveries on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I repeat, there will be no food delivery on Monday, May 25th. It's Memorial Day. It's a vacation day. Everybody gets the day off. So that's good. We got one day. Enjoy it. If you haven't noticed, we have had so many generous private donations to our food program. We've had one donation of a dozen eggs per family. we just received a donation of a half gallon of milk to every family. And this coming Wednesday, we are going to send yet another dozen eggs home to each family. And so I am in absolute awe of our altruistic community. They are always putting others first, and I couldn't be more proud of us. So thank you very much to everyone that's pitching in that way. I do want to mention that last week was Bus Driver Appreciation and Cafeteria Staff Appreciation Week. We want to send our sincere thank you to all of you who continue to come to school to prepare and pack food and then deliver to our most food insecure families. We are proud to have you as part of our Level family. A couple of notes from the elementary. I did want to make sure I mentioned to direct your attention to the elementary website. On the website are updates and important information on a lot of topics with deadlines and timelines to pay close attention to. So please visit that site to see if they can help answer some of your questions. If you still have questions, please contact Mrs. Goss, the elementary principal. And then lastly, I want to thank our students. We do a lot of thanking families, which is absolutely appropriate, and thanking the teachers, the people who are still working here in the building, administration. But we don't say a lot about thanking the students. And so to our students, you left school on a Friday expecting to come back on a Monday. You were just gone for the weekend. And so you were told that you weren't coming back. You were told to come in, get your stuff, and go home, and that you'd be learning from home. But somehow, without any training, you've been able to do this. And you've shown true dedication and an unbreakable spirit. All of you, from our tiniest pre-K students to our seniors, with no notice or preparation at all, you've turned the last 7 weeks into a positive learning experience. And we know that the next 7 weeks will only get better. So we miss you, and we are so proud of you. Remember to social distance, everyone. As the weather gets nicer, eventually it has to, it's going to be difficult to stay put. So you can do it, and we can do it. Our goal is to come together as soon as possible. We'll all continue to put the work in necessary to accomplish that. So with that, I will sign off from the district office unless someone has a question. So I will see you in another 2 weeks, and look out for information on graduation, on voter registration or voting, budget votes, and any other business from the district office. We'll continue to use the channels that we've been using. We'll use, this platform, but we'll also use Lincoln Lewis County, Facebook, Twitter, website, emails, letters, phone calls. I know sometimes you probably feel like we're bombarding you with information, but we're trying to make sure everybody gets the same information. If you do think of another way that you think would be helpful for us to share information, please let me know, email me or call me. I'm here. So if no one has anything, I wish you a great week. We'll get through all this bad weather, and we'll continue to learn and grow, and we got this. Thank you.